welcome to Buffalo Street Books. You're all here to see Gina, and she'll be up here in a second. I just want to welcome you here and let you know that we do events all the time. You can keep up with us on our website, buffalostreetbooks.com. Now, Gina, wait, I'll say something first. We've got a wilderness champion. Gina brought us a few copies, 4 or 5 copies the other day, and we sold them out like that. If you haven't picked up a copy, we've got plenty here on the back table. First collection? First collection, okay. You've been published, you've been into Stone Canoe, and I looked at the bio this morning. And plus Gina works down the hall at the bookery. So without further ado, Gina.
Thank you, Woody, and thank you, Buffalo Street Books, for hosting, and thank you to all of you for being here. And things are going to get a little bit weird, I guess, now. This first poem's called In the Year of Natural Sciences. In college, I took an astronomy course, and there I was promised the sky. The instructor spoke too fast and had a habit of erasing a formula when he was halfway through an equation, saying, "That's not right." Is anyone else confused? No one mentioned stars or nebulas. No one asked when we would build model rockets to blast off launch pads in arced trajectories we could calculate. The stars seemed an inaccurate science. Determined to know something definite about disaster, I gave up charting constellations and hoped to become a dinosaur. I signed up for geology, memorized epochs and eras like the birthdays of loved ones. I waited for my skin to become scales, to adopt a limp-wristed stance, for my digits to decrease in number, and my head to bob along to a nimble gait. My wrists remain rigid. Still human, I cannot explain all these nightmares about comets, the tendency to catastrophize, why I wake up at night asking, and what kind of telescope do you want to be remembered as? Refracting, reflecting, radio, X-ray. That was probably the most confusing class I ever took in college. It was impossible. About halfway through, I think I just stopped going and stayed home to play Harvest Moon. It was good. Especially the bread. Saturday evenings, I hang around the copper-roofed church, asking the reason my lungs turned into anvils. Must be the weather, I tell churchgoers moving quickly through the warm parking lot. I say, I don't think it's contagious. Still, car doors slam in sacred rhythms. The cars drive off. I walk to the market, buy milk and bread. Unsettling clatter between my ribs, abdominal pressure when I inhale, metallic spit recycling itself under my tongue. I pretend nothing has happened because nothing has happened that I can explain. I become used to being anvil-lunged and stop asking how. I dunk a slice of the bread in 1 cup of the milk, lay the poultice on my chest as if to treat a sliver, to draw the steel out. I bury 1 anvil in the garden and place the other in the center of the living room. I name the unburied anvil an altar, a place to lie down each morning, curled to the waist of the thing, in reverence of how something like this happens. When someone arrives, I will say I was waiting for the wall to sprout a grandfather clock, the bells to chime vespers. Some people are still trying to find God. Me, I take communion with the grocer. This next one is for our friend JT, who has an affinity for this goat that I saw at the Syracuse Zoo it was the day after Thanksgiving one year, and so this is for our friend JT. Jangles, the La Mancha goat. I visit the zoo to find the dollar I lost in the wash. A goat wears a jacket with a 6 on the back. He nuzzles the metal fence where I press my hands and say, "Yes, I would like a pet goat. We could share a bag of Pop Secret and watch television." Maybe this is who I really am. A goat jumping on a bed, watching the mattress give beneath my hooves. The mattress fills the pocket where the dollar used to be. The goat prefers being cradled in my arms. A pet goat. This is who I am, says the dressed goat nursing a bottle. Dear Don Quixote and Dulcinea and Jangles, the La Mancha goat in the jacket, I think I like you. Let's go to La Mancha. I saw the cartoon, the claymated windmills and the claymated man with his mustache, also clay. That place was not real. I want to get back there with my goat in a jacket. Don Quixote, you are a fool, but I am a windmill. On television, myotonic goats faint at the hint of sound. My defense mechanisms fail me. My goat faints. Maybe. Yes, I am still thinking of the goat at the zoo. I still think of Jimmy Durante. What was it he said? I say, good night, Jangles, La Mancha goat, wherever you are. Bad goat mom tendency. Think of zoo animals, how they are in cartoons or at night. Bad pet goat tendency, an inclination to eat dollars. My goat in a goat jacket gnaws fence wire, kicks the feed pail. This is not an electric fence. If I were a goat, I would like a jacket. I would travel often to places dryer dollars visit on business. In other words, places that are not real. Places made of sand or snow. So a little later on in the collection there's a series of kind of love in the apocalypse poems. So I'm going to read a few of those for you. This one's called Operators. What else is there to infer when I put my hands around yours? This is how to close your hands around air like an ornament. This is one possible way to make a fist. That is the approximate size of the thing beneath our ribs. When I say, you are my one and only, I mean it in the way I mean it when I say, I know how to change a tire. See my double knotted laces. See me hitch my jeans up on my hips, tugging stray hair from my forehead. We could curl in the hollow part of a tire. I want to. I mean this in the way I mean it when I say, I am going to bed, when I'm going to bed and I want you to follow. So many operators known and left for other operators inspire a noise through the telephone wires that gathers on the corner and makes a loud sound. I throw a pail of water out the window and say, keep it down out there. I slide the pail onto my shoulder just in case and call the police. You show up donning a plastic badge, a toy gun, an officer's cap from a costume store. Dressed in all the accoutrements of an instigator, I have no explanation, no apology. Each leg I stand on is a tennis racket backswung at the front door, a stovepipe twisted around your waist. All these euphemisms for the body being a body make me wish I could think up a more compelling answer to the question, what are you wearing? The whole the zombies and the end of the world, it seems to be something we gravitate towards. I like to think it's because we're heading towards a new beginning. Introductions to oceanography. We hear oceans until the one outside our door goes down into the earth. The storm dug a big drain on the seafloor. That's where the ocean went. We have to pass the time, and there's this swell tub upstairs. We climb in and soak for hours, hearing airstreams outside the window. No signals, no radio. We have no meteorologist. We are relying on our own instincts to know what the weather will do. And then there is the wine cellar. In the evening, we empty the bottles. We fashion a few into sleek barometers and fill the remaining green glass with blank sheets of paper to send to some other coast. The next three that I'm reading, they're kind of an homage to horror movies. A lot of the speakers are specifically women in horror films. So I have with me two tiny prizes. So whoever, the first two people to come up to me after the reading and identify one of the women from the horror film, you will get a tiny, they're actually cat stickers. So you will get a Lil Bub sticker for knowing your horror movies. It was Lil Bub's birthday yesterday, so. Of night. Until tomorrow, until tonight, your never girl, your fall homecoming queen. Stranded in a store, I become a shopper, a mounted head on the wall, a nice rack on that buck, and a moon out the window. This is no ordinary general store. I buy a jar full of fox bones. Unsure how to articulate the skeleton, I buy an old cloth. The fabric smells of silver polish and chloroform. When I step onto the porch, the paper bag in my hand becomes hot. I get tired of waiting for the car mechanic to arrive. I tie my hair back and tell the trees to go home. Wipe my palms on my cutoffs and carry my bag into the woods. I rub rocks with the cloth. Fox bones get lost on the way. I thought I might emerge on another side of the woods, an entire anesthetized forest. Then again, these things happen and can't be helped. Always, so it seems, at night. I am saying this so the authorities have a good thing to go on. At least 6 leads for the sheriff. The star badge on his chest sparkles like his teeth as they assess the evidence. And you can name this a sidewalk. You can be the blockbuster in the heart I take to the grave. I mean mine. It is a fallow thing, like rubber. The only thing to ever grow there is a hand. Of night. At this address we become hair and skin. This house, spare stairs marked dead. A carpet divides cement groundwork from a closet floor. Histories summoned to appear by means of someone else's longing. Never mind unfinished business. Want remains. Want fastens us inside doorways and windows. On narrow sidewalks we share with the dead. So missed to be imagined. We have presence. We have no say in who sees. A warning, the ceiling. Water comes down. Make a new one. Tiles replaced with texture. Observe an ominous absence. A faucet running. How a non-presence evolves into a threat. How could you tell from the ancient driveway? I am standing in this window to make you believe I am a ghost. Of night. I was born ready for beetles. I take time in the repository to learn that. Gain a new skill, woodwork or crochet. Canoe across gallons of chlorinated blue. Learn a dead language. Defeat the tennis ball machine. Is every restricted section special, or is that only in the movies? I sneak around without a pass. There is a way to stand at one end of the hall to align the bulbs in the ceiling. One bright light and 4 halos that widen with distance. I widen with distance. My ribs expand to collect air. I learned in voice class singing opera. I do not sing that way anymore. The man with glasses who shoplifts from the market says there's a woman who sings from a deep, soulful place. I wonder where that is and stand in the lunch line. Chicken parts shaped as prehistoric creatures. I carry my tray back to the library. Sadness widens with distance. It is how the dinosaurs died. We call it comet love. I carry sadness in my book bag, pony notebooks in my crossed arms. I want to know how to say, the wrong tree will find you when you are not looking. I learned the German. The English comes out. The plant is a terribly blind watch. I didn't mean to call you that. That comet loved those dinosaurs hard. These people don't mean anything to me in the way most people don't. I wander the stacks, find a bouquet of rolled magazines. I call for flies, look for a place to hide lost return slips. I want to look fine when someone peels back my face for demonstrative purposes. It's why I wear all this on the outside. So that was the last one of the Lil Bub Winnable poems. Well, stickers, you won't win the actual cat. I wish. So I have two more. Happy Belated Solstice. I guess this will be a summary poem. It's called Omaha. I show up unarmed, my pockets stuffed with barns. Red paint chips off their sides. The animals I carry around share noise like heat. My calves share vicious longing. Some moose beyond the long fence evaluates the land's minor qualities. As summer nears my hemisphere, I put on my yellow shirt and hold dearly to the Weathervane. My feet stamp the sundial. I harbor an unwavering special faith in time as it is articulated by the sun. The rooster's iridescent tongue is too inexact. The plumage takes on antique qualities. Copper feathers rust green. Morning's most brazen general silhouetted on a yellow sign. Land wears a cameo. My meteorologist wears a gray vest like a groom, notes weather like holidays, warns against sirens. At least there is time to run from a swell in the chest, circle-shaped air, flat ground. The machines have all hidden in ditches. How undisciplined the grass against my legs. The air pressure toys with the temperature, the forehead. My temples tell time by how they sweat. At last, some barometric measure of how I feel about open spaces. So this is going to be the last one, and it's the title poem from the collection, Wilderness Champion. I am here for my obstacle course. If you prefer not to be referee, you can be time. If you must say how late it is, suggest kindly. The forecast did not warn of snow, but it snows and I am happy. How else would I learn to build fire and shelter? How else would I see an avalanche? The villagers do not play. The villagers dance to the fires they see in the mountains. Come spring, I will not return. Leaves in the fireplace, home matters. The villagers make tall fences. I knew a neighbor. The neighbor shared a fence with me. There was no one else to do such a thing for me. I played a woman in an apron, dabbing at my eyes and cheeks with my hem. I pretended to be sad all day. This kept me from being sadder for a while until it made me the saddest a woman can get. Now I am the wilderness champion. No hairbrush or wash tub. I wanted to do a nice thing because you asked, so I went exploring laughter in the woods. You've been calling me home. We don't need that language. I make my own songs. I can't care about the words to village songs. What I mean is, it is too hard being a person, so I became the wilderness champion. Some days I see others. The man in the tent up the trail, for instance, abhors the trees. He prefers sky, upon universe. When I ask, what's the good word? He says, always you become the work, yourself. Look, I am the wilderness champion. When it gets cold, I cannot blame the climate. It is only fair. The coals burn down, and the village looks small, and the mountains are my mountains, full of bears. Thank you. Thank you all for coming, and thank you again to Buffalo Street Books for hosting this event and supporting all local authors and all kinds of authors. And you guys do a really good job, so thank you so much.